Hey guys, I'm back. Thank you for joining me once again. Today we are going to be continuing my Orchid collection update series, which I started in my last video. Thanks for being patient with me. I'm a little behind on my filming schedule. I went to a beach party over the weekend, which was really fun, but I got kind of like a gnarly sunburn. I don't know if you can tell. It's getting better now, but I was recovering for a couple days, so I was kind of out of commission, but thanks for sticking around. I'm excited to be filming today. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, today we are going to be looking at my grow shelves. My last video was focused on my windowsill plants, and this time around we're going to be checking out my grow shelves. I think I'm going to do two videos, so one for the top shelf and one for the bottom shelf. So today we will be checking out the top shelf. Let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, first up is a small but very exciting new addition to my collection. This has been a wish list plant of mine for a while now. This is a Rangus distincta, a really awesome orchid. This thing was kind of hard for me to track down. They're not the rarest orchid on the planet, but they're not the most common either. And I don't know if you've ever had the experience where you've wanted an orchid and they're available, you just haven't bit the bullet and bought one yet. And then when you're finally ready and you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, all of a sudden they all drop off the face of the earth. That's what happened with this one. Kelly from High Desert Orchids helped me track this down, and I'm really excited. It's gorgeous, it's small, it's gonna be a while before I can expect flowers, but it's healthy and I'm still really happy. If I do find a bigger one that's like blooming size, I'll probably still buy it, just so I can have one, but this one's very cute and I'm very happy to have it. If you're not familiar with a Rangus distincta, go look up the flowers. It's a really stunning plant. Let's see. Back in the corner there's two little bulbophyllums. They're doing well. They have some new growths and stuff. I don't feel like pulling them out right now to give you a close-up. It is, they're doing very well, and I would like to show you guys there's some good-looking new growths and stuff, but I just don't feel like pulling the shelf apart, so I'll show you that in a different video. This in the front here, this Cattleya with the little buds right here, that's I think it's BLC Hawaii Stars Pink Lace. It's a really awesome orchid. At first glance, like, it might not look like anything exceptional. That's kind of how I felt when I first saw it. The flowers they're very pretty, don't get me wrong, but it's really the fragrance that like really blew me away. I love the way it smells. This plant was really healthy when I got it, but it managed to lose all its roots somewhere along the line. I think the media went bad or something, I don't know. But all those back, the growths on the back half of the plant's all shriveled up, if you can tell. So I didn't think it was gonna do very well. I actually picked up a replacement, so I have two of these now. But believe it or not, that first one that I thought was gonna die put out like a really gorgeous new growth that has two big fat buds on it, so I'm really excited. So I have a duplicate now, but it is a really great orchid. I don't mind having two of them. Maybe if this one ends up doing really well, I'll, sell one of them or something, but I will show you guys when it blooms. It's a really wonderful fragrance. I think it's got Walkery on it and it's heritage, and I could tell by the fragrance it smelled like one. Let's see. Back here, that big Cattleya with the skinny, pointy leaves, that's an interesting plant, and I have kind of an interesting story with it. It's a Cattleyanth. I think it's called like Orange Passion or Mary Jo Walker. It's got a weird name. I don't feel like grabbing the tag. It's been doing this thing where it produces just tons of new growths. Like, there's always at least like a half dozen new growths coming in. I don't know if you can see them all, but there's many. For a while, they would just stall. It would put out new growths like there was no tomorrow, just all the time. but they would always just stop growing at like an inch or two tall. It's really strange, and I'm not even sure that it's really gotten better. I think some of these newer growths have gotten bigger than some of the previous ones. Like, they're looking a little bit more normal now, but it was just really weird. I remember kind of posting about it a few times, trying to get some feedback from people, and I got a lot of the standard kind of answers like light, water, fertilizer, whatever. And I really have tried a number of different things, rotating through a few different fertilizers, putting it in some different conditions, and nothing really seemed to help. But then again, it hasn't really been that long, and sometimes it takes a while for an orchid to bounce back, obviously, so who knows. But yeah, some of those new growths look better, but we'll see. It's a cool orchid. It's got these kind of medium, smallish, like orange and yellow flowers. They can become really wonderful big specimens with many, many flowers, so I was excited to get it, but I was pretty bummed out that it wasn't maturing any of its new growth, so it's strange, but it appears to be kind of back on track, but we will see. This here in the front, in this big tall spike, if you can see that, it's so small and skinny, it's kind of hard for my camera to focus on it. It's Masdevallia, and this one is called Masdevallia Red Shine Sheila. I've had it for a little while now, maybe just over a year or so, and this is my first time getting it to go into spike. It's always done okay for me, but recently it's the first time where I really felt like I caught my stride with Masdevallias. My Viciana, of course, is doing really well too. You'll see that in a second. I was thinking, a lot of home growers are intimidated by Masdevallias. I know that I was. I have discovered a few tips and tricks that have really helped me growing Masdevallias as a home grower. And if you guys are interested, I think I'm going to film a video specifically about Masdevallia care, kind of through the lens of a home grower, so that maybe I can help encourage you guys to try Masdevallias. There's some really good little hacks for the humidity and moisture issues and stuff that I've discovered that have worked really well for me, so let me know if you're interested in that, because I'd love to film that video for you guys. But this one will be blooming soon, hopefully. It's got a really nice deep kind of like scarlet red flower that I'm really stoked about, so I will definitely show you guys that when it blooms. Back here is a Cattleya. If you see these kind of pointy leaves here on this one, I don't feel like pulling out the tag. It's just a pink Cattleya. It's really nice. I love it. Wonderful fragrance. This thing would put out new growths, and then the new growths would drop roots, and the roots would grow for a little bit, and the tips would brown and die before they ever even really drop down to touch the media, which I'm assuming could be either low humidity or high salts. So I've kind of tried to mitigate that. I stuffed a bunch of moss kind of around the bottom. It's kind of towards the back. You're not really going to be able to see. Well, there you go. To try to just hold some moisture around the roots. I think for some reason this one's roots, when they're kind of like exposed to the air for too long, just can't grow, which makes sense. So I tucked some moss around the bottom to see if I can get the roots to stay green and healthy. So we'll see how that goes. Here is a phal that's in spike. It's a Jaiho Summer Love, a really wonderful kind of summer blooming phal. Mildly fragrant, very nice. The flowers have an awesome kind of color pattern. You can definitely look forward to seeing some footage of that when it blooms. Speaking of Masdevallias, this is my Masdevallia Viciana, and I'm so mad. It bloomed and the flower was wonderful, and I kept meaning to film a video showing off the flower up close and everything, but I waited too long and it got a little hot in my grow area, and the flower just kind of shriveled up and got kind of nasty, so I cut it off. I took lots of photos though. I'll probably insert a couple of pictures right now so you can see what it looks like. But it also has plenty of more spikes, so it's going to be in bloom for a while. I will definitely film that Masdevallia video once this one flowers, because I'd like to, you know, have some Masdevallias in bloom while I discuss their culture, so you guys can admire the flowers while we talk about them. So there's this nice bud right here, and then this other one should be blooming in time for that video too. There's a few other nice little spikes down in there as well, so it should be a nice display. You'll see that in that Masdevallia video. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around here. There's my little falcata, Vanda falcata cross Neostylus, doing very well. Some new roots and leaves and stuff. It's getting to be around the time when those should be going into spike. I'm not sure if it'll flower. It's still a bit small, but they can definitely bloom at this size, so I'm still holding out hope. It's a little bit early. The height of their blooming season isn't until kind of like mid to late summer. I want to say like July, so there's still a little time, so we'll see. A couple Cattleya types back here. Nothing too crazy exciting. That's a nice new growth that I think will flower. This is a really pretty Cattleya. It's kind of like a soft pink. The flowers remind me a bit of Ivanagara apple blossom. That's exciting. This is my little what's it called? Little Hazel SLC, Little Hazel Red Jewel. Is that what it's called? The really stunning red one. You may have seen me post pictures of it because I was like so in love with this thing when it flowered. It's got two wonderful new growths. That's an easy bloomer. I'm sure I'll get flowers off those new growths. Back here, sorry, wrong thing. Oh, well that's the, while I'm looking at it, that's the Hawaii Stars Pink Lace. Remember how I said I got a double because my other one was looking kind of crappy? Well, that's the new one that I got, so I have two now. If you're dying to get one, message me, maybe I'll sell it to you or something. This here, that lovely spotted dark colored new growth, is my Wairana leopard spots. That one also had a kind of tough time where it lost its roots and I thought it was gonna die. But I treated it with some stuff and got some new growths and everything, and that new growth actually looks great. I'm not expecting any flowers on it, but I do think the plant's gonna bounce back and do just fine, so that's exciting. This one here, that's my rustic spots. This thing's got a similar story to one of my other Cattleyas I was talking about, where it puts out new growths, but they just come out a bit undersized. It's strange, like that one there, if you can see. It was recovering from kind of like a rough repot and stuff, so maybe that's all it is. But I was still kind of bummed. I've had it long enough where I should have been able to flower it now. It's had 3 or 4 new growths come in under my care. Usually I can bloom a Cattleya, you know, especially one like this that's pretty hardy. So we'll see. Kind of a bummer, but it's doing fine. It's putting out new growths and everything. There is another one of my little Masdevallias. It's doing fine. The leaves aren't the best looking. They have lots of spots and some kind of browning and stuff, but it's doing okay. I've read about the culture for that one, and they're known to have really ugly foliage. Let's see. Here's a little fowl that I'm really excited about. Sorry, the lights in here are really bright, so it sometimes kind of looks a little washed out. But it's in spike. This is one I got from Breezy Hill Orchids, my friends Judy and Mark. I thought that spike was gonna stall and not flower, which is kind of normal. It happens sometimes. But I'm excited because there is a little branch off of it, so I think it might actually still flower, which is great. let's see, here is my, there we go. There is my Phal Japonica, Sedirea Japonica. It's doing really well. It was kind of stagnant for a while, but it's doing better. This is the first time where it's been putting out new leaves and roots and everything. That's a new leaf. Lots of new roots. I know this is over potted. I just use whatever pots I have on hand. Usually a healthy plant can handle being a bit over potted. I get comments about that all the time, which is understandable. It's not good to overpot orchids, but it's not the end of the world. Back here is a favorite little cattleya of mine. It's called Dream Dust. I forget the full name. I can't reach the tag, but Dream Dust. If you look up Cattleya Dream Dust, you'll find it. It's a wonderful, like, just magical little cattleya. It's got these soft, pale pink flowers with like wonderful speckles on them. It almost looks like a sarcochilus or something from far away, like at a glance. I've seen a lot of sarcos with like soft, pale pink spotted flowers that are small. It reminds me of that for some reason. It's really cool. I'll definitely show you guys when that one blooms. That's my Cattleya schilleriana. It put out a new growth and I was so excited, and then it ended up being this kind of like stunted, weird growth that didn't even put out 2 leaves. So I'm not sure what's going on with that one. I was pretty bummed. I'm sure it'll do fine. It's got other eyes on it that look like they're waking up. So I was bummed, but it's whatever. Here, this is kind of random. I was at a local kind of like greenhouse nursery, and there was this dendrobium, and I noticed this keiki had fallen off, and it was just like sitting in the mud, and I knew it would die, so I took it. I felt kind of bad, like I was stealing, like I should have told someone and offered to pay for it or something, but it's like so small, and it was just laying there forgotten, getting like stepped on, so I just grabbed it. I don't even know if it's like viable. It's got some roots on it, but they're dead. It's nothing like actively growing, so we'll see, but I thought it was kind of cool. This is my Cattleya Walkeriana. It's really great. That new growth looks good, like it might flower. It just flowered not that long ago. I wasn't sure if it would flower like multiple times in a season, like if it just continually bloomed off of the new growths, because this is the first time where I've had like 2 new growths kind of come in like within the same summer, whereas last time I kind of just got 1 growth per year. So we'll see if it flowers. I don't see why it wouldn't, but we'll see. My Chlorophyllus rustibioides Dragonstone from Judy and Mark at Breezy Hill Orchids. I love this thing. Hopefully I'll get some new growths on it soon. I really would love to flower that thing. They're so cool. That's my new little Japonica Minmaru. It's like the extra mini version with like the really cute circular leaves. They're a bit challenging to keep, but it's doing well for me. There's my little Phal schilleriana. Went through a bit of a tough period when I first got it, but it's doing fine now. Sorry, I know this video is getting kind of long. I'm about to wrap it up. Here's one of my other Masdevallias. This is Herradurae. Just finished blooming for me not long ago. It was really cool. It's got lots of new growths coming in. I hope it flowers for me again soon. This is my Angraecum dideri. Just finished flowering. It had like a second bud on the spike, so I was all excited that I was going to get another flower when that one fell, but it blasted, so that's okay. Still was so happy to see it bloom. It's doing well for me. It's actually got another little flower nub poking out, so if you can see it right there. They're very slow growing though, so I'm not sure if I'd see that flower anytime soon, but it's doing well. A little no ID Paf. It's one of the green Maudier types. I think it might be flowering soon. It's got some type of little sheath down in there. I'm excited. This is a no ID Denphal. It's got these really nice kind of like indigo, like pale, like lavender colored flowers that kind of have like a bluish tinge. Very cool. Hasn't flowered yet, but those 2 new growths there look wonderful. These are really vigorous. I always follow the rule of like more everything when it comes to denphals. More light, more fertilizer, more water. They're very hungry, thirsty plants. So if you have one and you're trying to get it to flower, I'd recommend that. This is my what's it called? Intermedia var alba. I was looking for like a solid white cattleya because I love them, and this is what I got. That's part of it as well. It had mealy bugs real bad at one point, so that's why it's kind of gross looking, but it's putting out new growths and stuff, so I'm hoping that one would do well for me. This is a Dick Smith. It's not the Paradise. I forget what it's called. Aloha Spirit, that's what it is. It's similar, like splash petals, really colorful. I haven't flowered it yet. That new growth looks nice though, so we'll see. And then that is Chienya Red Apple. Flowered for me recently. It's really wonderful looking. It's got two very nice looking new growths down there. Alright. I think I covered just about everything. Sorry, I know that was kind of long, but I thought I'd, just kind of take you through everything in detail. And then in my next video, we'll do the bottom shelf. And by then, a lot of these things that are in bud will have flowered too, and we have that awesome Masdevallia care video coming, which I'm really excited to film for you guys. I really want to share what I've learned about Masdevallias, so maybe we can all enjoy them. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I would really love it if you'd subscribe. It really helps me out a lot and keeps me engaged and motivated with this. I really want to share what I'm doing with as many people as possible, so it means a lot to me. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.